What is going on, chat, man? We are back, and today we are reacting to why LeBron will never be the GOAT 2014. Chat, this was crazy highly anticipated and crazy highly recommended, bro. And I'm gonna keep it a buck with you guys, bro. Like, I'm gonna keep it a buck 50 with you guys, bro. This seems like it's gonna be an insane video, bro. I'll be completely honest, bro, because the last one, 2011, I almost shed a tear reacting to that. If you guys want to go check that out, you guys can. But with that being said, let's get straight into this video, man. If you guys are new to my channel and enjoy this type of content, hit that subscribe button, man, and join the crew. But hey, let's get straight to the bottom of this one, bro.
So much more prevalent in the NBA than in other sports.
2, not 3, not 4, not 5.
I mean, y'all was older.
Yeah, we was older, but nobody had the big three. Everybody had like 2 stars.
A decade plus now, looking back on that Heat team, them going 2-2 in the finals was in fact disappointing. Was it a failure? Couldn't say that. But disappointing under...
I'm gonna be honest, bro. They could have won at least like 5 championships, bro. Because if you gave a team like this to Jordan, he would have won at least like 37 to 67 championships, bro.
That season, what was the narrative after the finals? Well, you know, this Spurs team was on a revenge tour, they're destined to win, and the Heat never had a chance. That narrative, in hindsight, after the Spurs won the championship, was a beautiful narrative and a storybook ending. But looking at the journey to get there, it's not entirely true. Look at the Western Conference Series, it went 7 games. I'll repeat that, a 35-year-old Dirk Nowitzki took the 2014 Spurs to 7 games. The second round versus Portland, LaMarcus Aldridge, a dominant series, it was 4-1. Then the West Finals with the Thunder, a 4-2 series, which in all honesty was past the championship. They weren't a juggernaut and a shoo-in to win the title from day one. And why was that? Because look at the Western Conference, it was absolutely loaded. And compared to the East, it's a no contest. 50-win teams in 2014 in the Eastern Conference. There's only 2. The Pacers, then Miami. The Western Conference, I mean, get this. You have the Spurs, Thunder, Clippers, Portland, the Rockets, Warriors, and Memphis. That West right there had 7
Gosh! Dang!
50-win teams. And look at your 8 seed, 49 wins. Even your 9 seed, 48 wins.
Yeah, it's not
they
comparable.
missed the postseason.
That's
For some
too
context,
easy.
in the Eastern Conference, the 3rd seed Raptors also won 48 games.
I think I can smell shite.
Season of his career. As in the field, 54.5%, his highest mark ever. From 2, 55.7%, again his highest, and true shooting percentage, the highest of his career. Looking at 2014 D-Wade, his overall counting stats points per game also were reduced due to LeBron James being the first option. But looking at efficiency, it was all-time great from Wade in 2014. And look at the NBA, the top 50 scores based off shooting percentage D-Wade was the 4th best player in the league. The guys behind are Dwight Howard, LeBron James, and Brook Lopez. That right there is D-Wade as a shooting guard, 6'4", 6'5", being a top 4 player in the NBA based off scoring efficiency in the 2014 season. Now I'll throw in one last thing. Look at the 2014 East Finals, the Heat versus Pacers. This big 3 combined was at nearly 60 points per game. LeBron James, 22.8 points, Wade nearly 20, and Chris Bosh, 16.4. These so-called washed Big 3 Heat washed Dwayne Wade.
We didn't have
Dang!
enough. He's a liar.
Then a sweep of Charlotte defeated Brooklyn in 5 games. Little tougher test against Indiana, but still an impressive 6-game win.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie, they were playing straight weak teams, bro, and they weren't even averaging that much, bro.
LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh really finishing off those series well.
That finals rematch is 1998 Bulls versus Jazz. And much like this series, Chicago in 98 didn't have home court advantage and was striving for the Antonio, essentially a must-win game. Where we can't
No way they called it LeBron, LaFlop, and LeBrick in like 2014.
Went absolutely ice cold. That right there for the Heat was a critical quarter. It stopped the bleeding and responded with some great defense and solid offense. As looking at LeBron James in the quarter had 11 points, Bosh had 10 total, Ray Short had 6, and Ray Allen had 5. Looking at
I ain't gonna lie, LeBron, he's been putting up boards as of what I've been seeing. He's been putting up some boards and points.
first half offensive stats,
He's not selling until I start seeing it bad. Right now, it's not as bad as I thought it would be, right?
And look at Bosch 2014, the 5 games
Bosch
part of
is
this
hooping.
game, this guy was rolling, playing an all-time level as a third option. And he's looking at his averages, 21.2 points, 7.2 boards on impeccable shooting. All-time great. As in half, had 22 points, and was damn near flawless. What you need from LeBron this series is an all-timer. Not just one good quarter here, 2 good quarters there, but a pretty impressive 32-9, the 5th best mark in the NBA. And in the postseason, or a perfect 8-0. That right there is some very important context. And look at the first quarter. This game in the first quarter was close for about 3 minutes. As once it was tied at 8 apiece, the Spurs from then on out went a 17-4 run and followed it up with a 14-5 run, and after one, we're up by 16 points. And looking at Kawhi Leonard in the first quarter, a game-high 16 points. By the second quarter, the Spurs still rolling. We're now up 25 points due to Kawhi dominating on both ends of the floor.
Bro, Kawhi dominating at that young of an age on LeBron, Miami Heat in his prime form is crazy.
6 for 6
Okay.
combined, including free throws for San Antonio.
Woo! Get up!
Count it and one. Has struggled so far in this series and for much of the playoffs. Leonard again shooting and nails the three-pointer. Bottom line is it sparked the team and it came up with a big W on the road in game 2. Parker looking. Leonard another three. Puts it in. Kawhi Leonard. Wild pass out to Mills. Patty Mills finding Leonard in the corner.
Oh my God, Kawhi Leonard is actually destroying LeBron.
That's a three. Kawhi Leonard. Most points he's ever scored in any quarter in his brief career by Leonard. Leonard gets it back, fakes the three. James closes out on him. Leonard shoots and hits.
That first half by Kawhi right there was an absolute carry job. And compared to Game 1 and Game 2, where he's largely out of the offensive flow, Game 3 was the Kawhi show, him finally taking over. And looking at that 25-point lead, at this moment what you're thinking is the game is out of reach and it's effectively over. And that's technically not true. As looking at this Heat team, they made numerous runs. As coming out of the halftime break, got down to 15 points, and the end of the third quarter actually got to single digits at a 9-point lead. So the Heat right here, very much in the game, in striking distance. And look at the second and third quarters, the Heat's offense. Who was carrying them, leading this comeback? Was it LeBron James?
Wade?
Unfortunately not. As
Bro, LeBron, why do you have 4 points, bro? Why?
Wade had 15 points, Rashard Lewis had 9, Bosh had 7, Ray and Cole had 5, and LeBron only had 4. Now, why is that important? Look at LeBron's first quarter. He came out blazing, 14 points off rip. But compared to Kawhi Leonard, outscored 16-14. In the next 2 quarters, LeBron James really did nothing. He's being carried by a supporting cast. And watching this game, what I'm thinking for LeBron in the moment is, he's saving his energy resting for the fourth quarter for a big-time push. But for Heat fans, that fourth quarter, unfortunately, will repeat the second, third quarter, and not a sequel to that great first quarter.
Leonard kicks it back out. Thank you, Doris. Green on the drive. James guarding him left-handed and one. What a beautiful shot from Green. Cole looking for James Parker on him. Double team. James in the post. And a travel.
Bro, they calling him for travels. Oh! Oh!
Leonard right up on James. 8 to shoot. James
Now Kawhi locking that up.
baseline. Shut off nicely.
Is that why they give Kawhi Finals MVP? Is this why they give Kawhi Finals MVP? Oh my God. He's on it. He's not even leaving him alone. Nah. Lock. I like that.
Green launches it up to Duncan. Touch pass.
Oh my God. Yo, and one. He almost got an and one. I like what I'm seeing. I like what I'm seeing. Oh, yup. Beat him to the spot. Good pass. I like that.
Leonard with 5 to shoot, pulls back. Leonard with 2 to shoot, drives, off balance, draws the
Nah,
foul
you're
on
playing
James.
around. He's drawing them. Bro, he's really hooping. Kawhi Leonard is really giving him a buck.
as the shot clock was expiring.
Still one of the top players in the game.
James drives. Layup misses. Diallo the rebound.
I ran into dozens of people, and I asked every one of them, who wins tonight? Everybody said the Heat will win and win easily last night. Everybody who came here thought the Heat would win yesterday. I thought the Heat would win. You thought the Heat would win.
For LeBron right here in a critical Game 3, you go up 2-1 or down 1-2, the performance he gave was pretty lackluster. In all honesty, post that first quarter, it was shades of 2011. As looking at overall stats,
Oh my god, this guy just said it was shades of 2011. Every LeBron fan hates hearing that.
8 points, 7 turnovers, 4-8 shooting, 0 of 2 from deep, with the worst plus-minus of any Heat starter. Looking at LeBron's overall counting stats, 22 points, no, not a terrible game. But looking at the context of the game, how bad he was post that first quarter, that makes it much more damning. And look at the fourth quarter, only putting up 4.3 turnovers. For MVP player, you expect more.
You've got to do better.
And look at Dwayne Wade, the so-called washed Wade. This guy in Game 3 was in fact Miami's best player, and compared to Kawhi Leonard, the second best player in this game, as Wade had 22 points on nearly 70% shooting. And look at the second half, 16 points in the catalyst for multiple big-time Heat runs. Now, speaking of 22 points, look at LeBron James and that number, 22. Why is that important? If you look at Michael Jordan's finals career, 35 total games, his lowest scoring game ever was in fact also 22, which means Jordan, 1 out of 35 games, reached that mark of 22 points.
Wow, wow.
LeBron's finals resume, including 07, 2011, 12, 13, and now 14. LeBron's games 22 points or under have now reached 10 times in a mere 20 finals games. As versus Spurs.
Bro, this is a bad stat line, bro. A bad stat line, bro.
07 scored 14. Dallas in 4 straight games had 20, 17, 8, 17, and 21.
You can't have,
versus Spurs.
bro, you can't have less than 22 in the finals, bro. Or 22 or less.
13 the first 3 games.
In the finals?
18,
No,
17,
your
15.
team needs you.
There was 2014 this game, had 22 points. If you look at LeBron's finals career right here, having these bizarre dud finals games happens pretty frequently. If you want to ask the question, why were Jordan's Bulls undefeated? Why did LeBron's team struggle in the finals? That right there is a big time reason.
Yeah,
And
bro,
the
we
biggest
can't
stage
handle that. We
was
can't have that.
Super consistent. LeBron James, has had some great final series. But if you're talking upper echelon consistency, Michael Jordan is simply on another tier compared to LeBron James.
He ain't lying.
And look at LeBron's 7 baskets in that third quarter. The first one, down by 19. The second one, down by 19.
Bro, they're all down, 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 down. Why are they never up, 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 up?
Third one, down by 19. Fourth, down by 17. Then down by 24, 24, and 24. LeBron James being absolutely anemic. When LeBron turned on in this game, it was simply too late. But looking at the stat sheet, you wouldn't know that. But watching the games, it's very, very apparent.
The Miami Heat got beat down last night. They've been beat down the last 2 games in Miami. And I think the thing that has got
LeBron James did in fact cost the Heat in Game 4. LeBron in the first quarter, Game 5, the mentality flipped just like that.
Okay, okay.
17
okay.
points on 5 of 7 shooting.
That's
LeBron,
good.
Once again, had one of those quarters where he's playing 10 out of 10 basketball. But look at LeBron post that first quarter. I mean, something definitely happened. I was being very, very cynical. I saw LeBron post the first quarter.
I feel like he just got tired and started just giving up, bro. Or his body just gave up. I ain't gonna lie, bro. He plays too much basketball, probably. I don't know. I don't know what to expect, bro. Maybe they just adapted to his play style.
Did in fact quit and gave up on the Heat in this series.
Big picture, LeBron James, he lacks all-time great intangibles. He's got all-time great talent, but
when he got them when they came, the majority of times in garbage time or in the first quarter, off rip. Game 3 and Game 5, almost the exact same script. LeBron in the first quarter comes out blazing. The second quarter tails off, the third quarter is in the background, and the fourth quarter, you don't know where he went. That for LeBron this series was his biggest problem. He rarely ever had a solid quarter where he's just average LeBron James. He's either great all-time level or in the basement playing piss poor. That in this series was the big time difference maker. LeBron James was super inconsistent when the games were actually within reach. Long story short, 2014 finals, the stats definitely lie. Is it as bad as 2011? Of course not. Nothing is. But looking at this series, LeBron's hands aren't squeaky clean. He's not absolved of all the blame. And here's one thing you gotta add in there. When teams going for a three-peat, what it takes is an all-time performance from a superstar player to reach another level. For example, look at 98 Jordan putting the team on his back. That, to me personally, one of the greatest carry jobs of all time. As that Bulls supporting cast, what they gave him was 54.5 points per game with the Jazz in the finals. LeBron's supporting cast this series, and he outscored that Bulls team by 10 points per game. And break it down even further. Look at Michael Jordan 98.
Oh my God, it's not even close, bro. That's 8% higher, chat. That's
points responsible for his
and
Bulls
that's old
team,
MJ.
38.0, one of the highest marks in finals history. LeBron for the Heat, only at 30.8. For Michael Jordan 98, the offensive burden he was carrying was immense, one of the biggest burdens of all time. LeBron wanted to get the Heat over the hump. If you want to look at sidekick players, Jordan's wingman, LeBron's wingman, Pippen 98 wasn't just old, his back was breaking down. As Pip that series, 15.7 points a game.
I ain't gonna lie, Scotty was hooping too, bro.
Shooting from deep, couldn't hit anything.
But he wasn't hitting that crazy shots.
The last legs. And what did Jordan do? Get him to the finish line and complete the three-peat the second time in 8 years. That right there is the big time difference. When Jordan's supporting cast faltered, they were injured, they were quote-unquote washed, he still got the job done, got the Bulls over the finish line. The overall point differential. Till this day in league history, the biggest...
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie though. Their point differential is insane, bro. Like, this is actually insane. The fact that it's this much of a margin is insane, bro.
All time, and the winner versus the loser. As Miami the series was an abysmal
That's
minus
cooked.
70.
Cooked.
Looking at the most lopsided finals ever, the top four, LeBron not once but twice is on that list. 2014 Heat.
Twice on the list is even insane. I didn't even think about that, bro. Oh my.
But also the 2018 Cavs. Those two series combined, LeBron James had a 1-8 record and was a minus 130.
You suck!
Now, to put this into perspective even more so, look at the Spurs' path to finals, their path to championship. If you rank those series by margin of victory from highest to lowest, the Spurs versus the Heat won by an average of 14 points per game. Versus Portland in the second round, a 5th seed, only 13.4. Versus OKC, the West Finals, 10.5. Versus the Dallas Mavericks, only 2 points per game. That right there, what does it show you? Yes, the Heat got blown out, destroyed. It was an embarrassing showing. But more so than that, it shows the Spurs in the Western Conference had a much harder time than LeBron in the series, with the majority of stats in garbage time when the game was already decided.
But then game 3, when his team really needed him, he got off to the sensational start, you recall, in game 3. Then he went strangely quiet and passive the last 3 quarters of that game. Scored only 8 points with 7 turnovers in the last 3 quarters. And
yeah, 7 turnovers is horrible. That's like 8 turnovers. No, 8 points and 7 turnovers. Is that what he said? Either way, it's still horrible, bro. The turnovers are still like, that's bad. Was he playing point guard in my...
game player. But versus LeBron James, what he looked like more often than not was a top 10 player in the NBA. As the final 3 games, they had 24 points per game on absurd shooting splits from the field, 3, and the line. Looking at Kawhi right there versus LeBron James, when he was him versus role players in the finals, not once but twice, got owned by
So this is role player Kawhi? Or is this all-star Kawhi? Like, getting into all-star Kawhi?
Called role play.
Embarrassing!
Stats look online. This is LeBron in the series played well, had a fine series. As unlike 2011, the stats aren't super damning. But the more you dive into, the more you look at the film, LeBron in this series was at best average. Because of course defensively, he was getting torched, and offensively, his stats came in garbage time. That right here, they shot an absurd 57.1% of the field.
Bro, you can't leave him open, bro. You can't do that.
Leonard to Splitter. Green tries a 3. Oh, Danny Green. $5,000 for a flop. They thought that was a backcourt court violation. It was close as Parker gets fouled. Nearly stolen. Leonard gets it back. Leonard on the drive.
Okay, Kawhi Leonard was trying to do something crazy. Kawhi Leonard wanted to do something bad. It's Tony Parker clipping him. He's so tiny compared to him, bro.
Kawhi offensively had no choice but to show up every single night. As looking at a supporting cast in history, one of the worst all time in raw points per game. As was the Bulls 98, the lowest of all time, and 97, the second lowest in league history. Looking at those players right there, 98 Jordan, 97 Jordan, 99 Duncan, 06 Wade, 94 King. What do they have in common? Not just weak supporting cast, but all-time playoff runs in pursuit of that championship. If LeBron this series went 06 Wade, even 94 King Olajuwon, the Heat do in fact win this. He won. 1997 versus the Jazz, won 64 games. Scottie Pippen, 20 points per game. Kukoc, 8.0. Combined, 28 points per game on 41.7% shooting. Now factor in 1998, again combining the stats of Jordan's two highest scoring teammates. These guys combined were 29.4 points per game on 43.6% shooting. Now why is that important? 29.4. If you look at Wade and Bosh in 2014, what's their combined points per game? 29.2 on 48.7% shooting. Looking at both these series, I wouldn't say Wade, Bosh, Kukoc, or even Pippen had an all-time series. Michael Jordan, his series, rose to the occasion and was all-time clutch throughout the game. LeBron 2014 was anything but. And that right there is the crux of the issue why Jordan in the finals had 2 3-peats or 6-0, while LeBron at this point was 2-3 with 3 embarrassing losses.
It's that simple.
And one more thing I do want to look at comparing the Spurs versus the Heat offensively. These two teams couldn't be more polar opposite. The Spurs ball movement was crisp, they were operating as one, it was beautiful team basketball. Overall touches, Wade versus LeBron James on a game-to-game basis, LeBron 84.7 versus D Wade 56.3. That's the final 3 games when the Heat went 0-3. Now go one step further, look at LeBron James holding the basketball, drilling the air out of the basketball. This guy's average second per touch was 5.01, and dribbles per touch, 4.34. Now in no context, who knows what that means. But here's a comparison, looking at Luka Doncic the past 2 years. Luka, a so-called ball hog, the past 2 seasons in LA. Seconds per touch, 4.97. Dribbles per touch, 4.13.
What?
Enough said.
What?
You know, it's simply not the case, and not the whole story. Now, for LeBron's overall legacy, is 2014 the most damning series all time? Obviously not. 2010 and 2011, much, much worse. But look at 2014, when 100% counts in comparison to Jordan, is no doubt a black mark on LeBron's legacy. Because, of course, MJ 3-peated twice and did it at the ripe old age of 35.
Facts.
LeBron in his prime couldn't.
Hey, chat. This one was a crazy video, man. This one was an insane video, man. This was highly anticipated, recommended. So, chat, let me know down below what you guys think about this, man. And, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and, recommend me some more bangers. Because I'm going to be completely honest, bro. This was an absolute banger. I didn't think that 2014 was as bad as it was, bro. I thought 2014 was, for LeBron, I thought it was more of a down year, I thought it was more of like, injuries on the team. That's why they weren't performing at the high level that they were, able to. Because, bro, they could have really won like 7, bro, 5 at least, because they had a super team. I think that was like the first time they had 3 all-stars, superstar talents, like on a team. They were about a 3-peat, bro, but they never did it, and LeBron left, bro. That's crazy. But, chat, this is the end of the video, man, so make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch y'all next time. Yes, sir.